What's going on, everyone? So, from season 3, episode 3 dropped, and it was an interesting episode. I actually enjoyed the episode. A lot of people, especially in the live stream after the episode release, I always do a live stream around 10 p.m. because I get to watch it at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So, usually do the live stream at 10 p.m. Pacific time. So, hopefully, to see you in future live streams. But a lot of people seemed rather disappointed by this episode, which I get. I understand, right? You got this like just heavy boom. Here's setting the standard of this season. Here is the action-packed, just bam, 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 bam style episode. And then it's like, man, how are they going to top that? They follow that up with the bam, 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 bam to the emotions, right? It's just like you got the two-piece haymaker, boom, boom. And then the next episode was just two-piece on the body, boom, boom, right? Let's get to the heartstrings. And then episode 3, it's just like really calm, really mellow, nothing really crazy happens, right? Obviously, ends on a cliffhanger, which I'm gonna get into spoilers for those that aren't or haven't seen the episode yet. Now's your time to click off, and if you see the episode, make sure you come back and check this video out. But getting into the meat and potatoes of it all, again, I get it. But the thing that I liked is I felt like this really set up and established several stories. And we're going to get into some of those. But to me, this kind of felt like the calm before the storm. Right? Like I said, you kind of, you got the two-piece, boom, boom, to get you going, set the standard, really draw you in for this season. It's like, wow, man, this is how it starts. And then that follows up again with the emotional episode, the aftermath episode. And then you kind of get the between rounds, right? You get the, hey, take a breath, enjoy this. Got a couple stories setting up and being established. And then it's go time. We back in business. And I think you're going to see things really start to ramp up the final 7 episodes. Right? I think that, again, this was kind of the calm before the storm, which I think you need. You're coming off such an emotional episode, and previously it was just such an action-packed episode. You kind of get your bearings. You kind of get to evaluate certain things, kind of take some stuff in, and then it's like, let's go, baby. And we got a lot to talk about in not just this video, but several videos going forward. But kind of want to just give you a basic run through and overview of this episode. So getting into it, right? Jade continues to have more questions than answers, right? Like he's starting to see other character now. And we still don't really have answers as far as like other things he has seen, the symbol, right? His mental state, like where is he really at, right? Like he's kind of going through it, and we just really don't have any clue exactly what the deal is, right? Tons of speculation, tons of ideas. I really want to kind of dive into some theories on Jade, but it's just like so hard because like we don't really have any information to really jump off of, right? Like I like to, when I'm doing the theory ideas and the theory videos and stuff, I usually like to have talking points to kind of back up the theory. Right? Things that, may or may not kind of tie in, but at least you can kind of link to that. You can go, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. All right, like I could see that. It's probably unlikely, but I could see that, right? Type thing. Right? And with Jade, it's just, there's so many different ways that this could play out and this could go. And it's just like, I feel like we really haven't gotten any kind of springboard to jump off of in order to kind of grasp what is going on with Jade. But obviously his story continues to expand, and I hope we start getting some more answers as we kind of approach these final 7 episodes of this season, because you get 10 episodes a season. But beyond that, one of the things that I was incredibly disappointed with, and to be fair, maybe it gets expanded on. Maybe, in hindsight, I look back and go, you know what? I'm actually okay with how that played out. But I'm very disappointed with how the phone call of Thomas, quote unquote, played out. Because I felt it was very lackluster and very underutilized, right? Like, we all know it wasn't Thomas. You knew Jim was going to know that it wasn't Thomas. But instead of really using that to break him down, they kind of just used it as a way to kind of toy with him, but it didn't really go anywhere, didn't really have an impact. And I just think you could have done so much more to really kind of hit home, and maybe they will. But for example, just to kind of give you an idea, right? Like, instead of Thomas coming on the phone and just being like, hey, your kid's after dark, and he goes, runs, and chases after his kids, and nothing comes of it, right? And then he has the little argument with the kids, and then kids run away, and then the phone rings again, and he slams the phone, right? Kind of toying with them, kind of messing with them, kind of letting them know, like, hey, we're listening, we're watching, we know what the deal is. Like, okay, sure, but why not have it to where, say the kids were in a compromised position. Jim gets the phone call. The voice says it's Thomas. Jim, no way, it's not Thomas. No way, no how, blah, blah, I'm not falling for your games. And it's like, hey, well, my brother and sister, Ethan and Julie, are in trouble, and they need your help. Go help them, right? Let's say it's something silly, maybe they're stuck. They got locked in the barn by accident or whatever, and it's about to be nightfall. So Jim has to go run, saves them, brings them home right in time. Okay, well, now that phone call actually served a purpose. Now Jim's kind of got it in his mind, like, wait a minute, the call actually saved my children, right? Next phone call, boom, Jim answers. Hey, you think Tabitha's dead? No, Tabitha's alive. Mom is alive. She's okay. She'll be home soon. Blah, blah, blah. And then click. Okay, well, now Tabitha is returning to Fromville. All of a sudden, Jim now goes, wait a minute. The voice was 2 for 2 now. So whatever this is, right? Thomas says on the phone, I just want to help. Hey, the thing said it just wanted to help. Whether it's Thomas or not, it's helping me, right? And now you start playing on Jim's emotions and mind and really start to break him down rather than just kind of, it's almost like making fun of him, almost like you're poking him a little bit, but it's like knowing that there's not going to be really a response. It's kind of how it feels. But again, maybe in hindsight, we look back and go, you know what? That was just the setup. That was just the beginning. I'm willing to be patient. I'm willing to kind of see how it plays out. But it was just something that kind of bothered me. I was like, they really hyped up this, phone call throughout the trailer. And then it ends on the cliffhanger of like, oh, it's Thomas. Dad, it's Thomas. It's like, oh, okay. Yes, we know it's not. But still, like, you had a real chance to have an interesting point. I felt like it kind of fall flat personally. But continuing on, couple things that I think could potentially play into some significance. One, Jade removing and breaking down the little statue structure thing in order to kind of gain the leverage necessary, gain the leverage needed. I could see that potentially coming back to kind of bite the group that is there, right? Like Christy is a little hurt, right? We'll see what the significance and severity is of it. Her ankle's dislocated. She had to pop back into place. Is she going to be able to walk? Is she, does it get infected? Like, how does that break down Christy? But, you have Kenny, you have Jade, you have Christy, you have a couple kind of off characters that, you could see potentially dying. Is this a moment where they take out one of the significant characters, right? Do they kill Christy? Now, you might think no, but I'll go into this deeper into another theory video, but we've seen people die, new people come in. You're getting new nurses, medical people, as well as a new just ambulance. Is this a way to kind of give you the sign that Christy is potentially on her way out? Right? Like, Jade removes right? Like, and you could say, well, Kenny and Jim survived, and they survived with the tablet, or with the talismans, right? Yes, but they also had those structures around. So how much of it was the talismans and how much was the structures? How much was it both? Right? Like, I could see that potentially playing a significant role that kind of leads to somebody's death. I don't think they kill Kenny yet. I don't. I don't think they killed Jade yet because, like I said, there's just way too many questions, and they're clearly kind of setting up a path for him. But does Christy maybe potentially meet her in? Like I said, I'll go more in depth, kind of break down some key signs and maybe potential foreshadowing and stuff like that in that regard. But they're clearly, again, setting up stories for various characters, right? You have this build up with Jade. You're getting kind of the aftershock and aftermath of Kenny. He's kind of, emotional, dealing with frustrations, even the way he talks to Christy. You never heard him talk to her like that before. He's always, he's been a puppy dog towards her in a lot of ways. And he was just kind of like, do your job and, stop talking, just kind of being a jerk to everybody, right? You see, Boyd's trying to figure out how to trap one of these monsters. It looks like he's going to use the bus as the way. And that's kind of what I think the next episode is going to play out. I think he'll be in the bus. He'll use the bus as kind of the plan to trap the monsters. Because remember, Father Kotri, when he appeared to Boyd, said like, oh, great plan. I can see why, the military had you, do the plans and stuff. You want to lock them into a house and then afterwards go trudge through the house until it jumps out and basically slaughters you, right? Like, it's a silly plan. Well, the bus actually is a solid plan, right? Because one, you'd be able to communicate with it without actually having to enter the bus. Two, you have escape points if you're Boyd. You lure the monster into the bus. Boom, you close the main doors and you escape through, the top hatch or something. Now it's locked in. Now it can't get out. And now you can kind of communicate with it from the outside. And you don't have to go inside and actually engage. So you're kind of seeing that set up. Him kind of just, the rash decisions. That was a real kind of talking point this episode from everybody that kind of had conversation and dialogue with Boyd of like, hey, this place is trying to break you and you're making silly decisions that Boyd would never make. Other people would make these decisions, but not you. You're not that guy that makes these decisions, right? Like those kind of things. So it'll be interesting to see if that kind of plays in anything, and if there is like a casualty or something because of that. But I do think Boyd will probably be in the bus. The ambulance will show up and then you'll see Boyd. That's how Boyd gets outside, ends up helping. You see the monster hold the keys and goes, you're looking for these, can't save everyone, Boyd, right? Like, that's how I think that'll play out. I think that's how that sequence will go. And then last little kind of tidbits is obviously Tabitha as well as Victor are now back in Fromville. Now, I had people ask in the live stream and stuff of like, hey, do I think that this means that she has just always been in Fromville and it was another layer, right? And you even saw her kind of breaking down and going, oh no, I'm stuck inside. I don't. Again, like I always say with the show, you can't really rule anything out until we actually have like concrete proof evidence. But I do think you can argue that we got that. My biggest point is that there's just better ways that you could have went about Tabitha being in Fromville still than what we got, right? You kind of just like went back to the beginning for no reason when you could have just like, when they got in the car accident, had Tabitha wake up and it's just the same sequence, like Groundhog Day. I think that also would have been just much more impactful as far as like, oh my gosh, she really is in the real world or in the Fromville still type thing. And she's just in this loop, or maybe she wakes up, in front of the faraway tree or something, or the bottle tree, right? Like you could have just went about it in so many different ways where now you see Tabitha in the ambulance with Henry, Victor's father, as well as several other, you got the driver, the guy tending to Victor, and then the cop talking to Tabitha. And you have several characters that are on their way as well, and then you end up looping around, and then the fallen tree and Tabitha kind of oh no type thing. Like I think that was your confirmation. Like she was in the real world. She's taking all these people in the real world with her. I think it's also not a coincidence that Tabitha ends up going back to Fromville as soon as she gets caught. Because cops are about to take her in. Cops are going to try to figure out who she is. She's been missing for who knows how long. And all of a sudden, now Fromville, she shows back up in. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they're trying to keep her from getting, potentially going to jail and all kinds of stuff. Because, like they're going to wonder, like, hey, where's your husband? Where are your kids? How come you're here and they're not? Oh, this fairy tale? Like, everyone's going to think she's crazy. So I think that that's going to be something that's really going to build up, and you're going to have that point. I really hope, and this is something else I really want to dive into video-wise independently, Victor's father better not be dead. They better not have killed Henry in that attack, or not attack, the car crash, and then end up having him be attacked and dying. I'm not saying he has to finish the rest of the season. You can kill Henry. I'm fine with that. We need to have that Henry Victor moment. We need to have that emotional moment. We need to have that emotional scene. We need to have that tie-in. We can't have it any other. You gotta have that. Seriously. But all in all, I have a ton of videos that I want to dive into, break down different theories, all kinds of stuff. So be ready for a jam-packed amount of videos coming up here shortly. But as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you feel a type of way about this episode? Is there anything specific that you liked and you thought was interesting? Anything specific that you want to hear me kind of break down and maybe go into more depth into? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.